Welcome to the Venue Underground. I'm Kate Deere, founder of a 7-figure wedding venue brand, Carnegie Mellon MBA, and the voice behind the Venue CEO with over 1 million followers. I sound fancy. My team and I record this podcast in a literal fallout shelter under one of my venues, and that feels right because this is where the raw truth of running a business belongs. Today's episode, the girl math of making it. Business school loves to say it's simple. The equation for a successful business is revenue minus expenses equals profit. But that formula is a lie. Taylor Swift recently said that you should think of your energy as if it's expensive, that not everyone can afford. And that's the real missing number. It's money, energy, sanity. So Gemma and Rachel are here with me today. If sleep was an expense in the business equation, like how many nights have we written off already? What are you thinking about this whole adding energy to the profitability equation?
I'm gonna let Gemma answer that because I know you lose sleep.
Your aura rings say today.
Really resilient. You're really resilient.
I like that it puts it nicely.
Tells me how resilient I am.
Mine tells me it's time to move, Rach, and that my body battery is at like 26%. So that's fun.
I don't have one of those rings because I don't want to know. I do not want to know. When I first heard this quote that Taylor said, and like whether you're a Taylor fan or not, I do think it has some impact. And I admire her as a businesswoman. And I have been to a concert. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Back in the day. Okay. Yeah. Like friends of friends. Anyway, yes. That's a story for another time. But anywho, so her quote, think of your energy as a luxury item. Not everyone can afford it. I really do think as a business owner, you need to add your energy / time into your equation of whether something is worth it, whether it's profitable. Because like, let's say, I always talk about how I'm a 7-figure business, right? So let's say it's $1 million a year that we're making. But if I'm spending $950,000 a year paying people, paying for supplies, things like that, I'm really only making $50,000 a year. And then if from that, we're also deducting the stress of running and managing a business, it's like, is that even worth it when I could go get a salaried job, work for somebody else, make the same, if not more, and not have all that stress? So at what point is running a business worth it? And so I really do think that the energy component is something that they're not really focusing on enough in business school when they're talking about, the whole profit margin equation.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was also something that came up in my research that I feel like is going to resonate with you guys. 20% of clients cause 80% of stress.
Mm.
Thoughts and feelings go.
That tracks. I think there's something powerful. Someone said to me once that your no is just as strong as your yes. And I'm thinking in our position, there have been events that we've said no to, super short-term, last minute, lack of organization, overwhelming guest count, whatever it could be. There have been events that we've said, hey, no, like it's just not going to work. We're not a good fit. We're not available, whatever it is. Because though we could throw it together and make the money, the stress would be last minute contract gathering, knowing that we're dealing with vendors who aren't real vendors and all of that back and forth, executing the event not to the client's standards, and then dealing with the fallout of the negative reviews that I thought this was going to go differently. You said this, we thought that, we misheard this. And that's how few events can snowball into events that we're still talking about years later. There's a reason we have some new policies like no more last minute funerals and stuff like that because of what we've seen, bad things that have stuck with us years later.
Yeah, we have phased out the funerals or the life celebrations. We celebrate everything except for that because it just never.
it's an unknown number of people that fluctuates and changes every second, and their last minute plan, and everyone's trying to come together. It's a no for a reason, and that's because of the stress and
Yep.
the aftermath of what we have to deal with.
Like saying yes to one, kind of not perfect fit client could mean that you don't have the energy to say yes to 5 ideal perfect clients who fit your business model. But it's so hard, especially when you first start out, to say no, when every dollar is like, am I going to make it this month? I need this booking. And we've definitely been through some points, like especially in the beginning, where it was like, okay, you know what, we'll take these clients whose events are not the best fit for our space because, we need to make rent this month, we need to make payroll. And we didn't really have the luxury of saying no. And those are the ones that I feel like we're still recovering from years later.
Those are, I will say, they're the ones that help shape our policies.
Yes.
Every yes that you give to someone is going to take up a portion of your time. So make sure that the yes that you give means you can follow through with that time, because it's going to end up essentially taking away from other people's things. Yeah.
I'm just going to wait until Gemma says something. What do you just think that this is all dumb?
I don't think this is dumb. I just have a hard time coming up with things to say, and
Things that are nice or just things in general?
things in general.
Okay.
And this topic in particular is hitting very, very close. So yeah, it's just hard for me to come up with things to say.
We've had events that we should have said no to, not just because like there's more than just, obviously business wise, there's more than the financial, like we made money off of this or whatnot, but like some reviews, there's reviews that I still like harbor. Like I did call myself a potato, and I stand by that. But there's the aftermath of some of these things goes beyond just the business. Like we're human and we're people at the end of the day. And then when someone gets under our skin, or when something happens that makes us feel like we weren't good at our job or we didn't deliver what we promised, it affects us. And kind of like I've hit that shutdown before, where it's like, why do I even show up for this stuff? Why do I even open my calendar for walkthroughs and things if this person could potentially take a dump all over me? And it hurts. It does suck really bad sometimes.
What do we think about the quote? It's sounding like the quote maybe itself is coming from a place of privilege, where saying that your energy is expensive, treat it like a luxury item, not everyone can afford it. Maybe we don't all have the luxury of protecting our energy that much and outsourcing our frustration. It's kind of what I'm hearing. Like, it's a great mantra, but is it actually something you can do in real life?
I think this quote is helpful in terms of figuring out your price, like quite literally figuring out your price. Maybe you can't, the energy part, that's going to be different for every individual. But in terms of like I know you said it once, where we sell space and time. So even if you want to come in for a quick photo shoot and you just want to take 10 pictures and you're already dressed up and there's no crazy thing, we sell space and time. That has a cost to it. And then this quote would help you determine that cost. You want an event, it's super small, it's just a ceremony with light sandwiches. We saw this a lot during the pandemic. Super small, not a full catering thing. It's 30 people. We just want sandwiches. Yeah, but we still need contracts, and we still need license, and we still need insurance. And Gemma's still going to have to send you 40 emails. And we have to draft up a contract. And then you want to change it because you just want to adjust the hours a little bit. We need to, this quote helps you determine okay, well, how much am I going to charge for? It's not just your 2 hours walking in, taking pictures, saying I do, and leaving. It's 10 hours of emails and legal. It's this quote helps with that. But I think how much energy you're spending on caring about the business and caring about your role, that's gonna be different for every individual.
I think it's also could be taken like quite literally. Like you actually can't afford it. Like if you think about the events that really do cause us the most grief and the most trouble, It's not our full day. It's an hourly event. It's a party. It's a last minute event. It's not the people that are long range planning and getting that, nice time, like scheduled care, and we're giving you time, and we have the luxury of time of like, oh, I'm going to email you at 90 days, but it's okay because we have 90 days. But it's these shorter events that it's like, you could not afford my traditional normal care. And so now you're getting this like, harried, hurry up, give me your stuff, the person. So it's like quite literally like, you can't afford all the energy I'm about to give you, and this is why we're behaving this way.
There's that other quote that I think is maybe better, which is the one that we always send each other as a meme. Your lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on my part. I think that's more apropos for the industry. Like, you didn't plan, you didn't listen, and that doesn't mean that I need to, at 11 p.m. on a Thursday night, answer your thousands of phone calls. It's not an emergency to me just because it's an emergency to you. I don't know. Maybe that's the one that like hits home a little bit more.
I do wish people could realize that you can do an hourly event, you can do a budget conscious event and still see it through in a quality way.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love a 6-hour, an 8-hour event that has a day of, that has still a real catering team that just did smaller bites. Maybe we're not doing surf and turf, but we're doing little things. Like, at the end of the day, whether you're trying to save money or have a big blowout, at the end of the day, it's time and energy on the client's end putting their event together. It's going to be worse when you throw it together in a ramshackle way. It's worse for us on the logistics end. It's worse for you in the execution. Like,
the more last minute an event is, the more flexible the client needs to be with their date, with the time, with what food they have, what vendor they hire. As long as you're flexible, you can do an amazing event last minute, quote unquote, in our industry. But it's the people who come in and they're like, this is my date. This is the thing. I'm going to have all these people. I'm going to have this exact cuisine and this exact photographer. And it's like, well, your dreams are, not going to come true because you're so rigid about it. Time is a luxury. So I guess, yeah, the energy is a luxury item. This next segment, I called it the moving goalpost. It's something that kind of hits home for me, I think probably more as the business owner. But let me know if it applies to you guys. So like when I first started the business, it was like, okay, once I get my first client, like I'm good. I've started the business is real. And then it's like, okay, well, once I, have my first, year in business, or once I hit this certain revenue milestone. And I feel like each time you hit a goal, you just kind of move the goal a little further out. And so it's like, when will you ever be happy with the way things are? Right? Because for me, it was like, okay, I want to get that first booking. Okay, I want to add another location. Okay, I want to franchise. Okay, I want to, like what's the end game? Like, at what point do you just be satisfied with what you have? And so I think I'm kind of wrestling with that now. I'm trying to figure out like, how do we optimize what we already have and like help other people grow and expand, and maybe not us so much. So it's sort of, how does the definition of making it change as you grow as a business? Like, have you guys ever thought, okay, if we just get through this season, like next season will be easier, but then it's not? Or do you think like clients expect more from us the second we deliver something, and then they're going to expect more if we're flexible on one thing, then they expect us to be flexible even more the next time around.
Yeah, I definitely think if we just get through the season, it'll be easier. Because I feel like I've been thinking that since like summertime. Like, okay, we just get it through this chunk. And then now I'm like, oh my God, it's fall. And it's like this ultimate. And then for us, it just seems like our fall is our peak time is ever expanding. Like it used to be like, December would roll around and we were done. And it's like, whoo, yay. But now we do lots of events in December, it seems. So it's like that end goal. It just like, it keeps going. And then it's like, okay, when is the break time? But then we do get a break time after the holidays, but then we're doing booking season. So then like that's, even, and especially this year, I think it was like that too, where it was like when we weren't doing events, we were really trying to get our bookings to recoup from previous. And it was just like, we're doing tours. And then now it's like, okay, we don't have to do that so much. We're in a good spot. But now we're doing events a lot. And so it's like,
we're doing the events that we did the tours
yeah,
for.
we're doing the events we did the tours for, which is great and amazing. But then it's like, yeah, when is it gonna stop for a little bit, I guess?
I see it kind of like a seesaw where it's never perfectly level, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a scale, like the legal, the
scales of
judge thing.
justice.
Yeah, it's not that. But it's like if you're in the throes of events, then you're light on tours. If you're heavy on tours, it's probably because it's not a crazy event season. And it teeters in the middle. Like you have those blended seasons, like early spring or like summery time. You have those in betweens, but I think it's fun from our position. Fun might not be the word, but from our position, like the way our team is structured, the venue managers work events. It's not like they do the tours anymore. So our venue managers just work events. For us, it's like you're either knee deep in the emails of contracts back and forth, or you're doing tours 5 days a week. Because the emails are lighter because people aren't really in the planning process. And I feel similarly. So I think I don't ever see it as like what you said, where it's like, as long as we get through summer, okay, let's get through fall. Because if it's not one thing, it's another. They're just different. It's just kind of like sloshing back and forth. It ebbs. It's a seesaw. It's a seesaw. It doesn't ebb and flow. It's like a seesaw to me in my brain. I've worked at places before. These were bars, restaurants, things like that, where, especially in DC, someone opens a bar and they have a vision. I want my bar to look like this. I want this to be the vibe, the food, the music. And they were so married to that vision that they didn't take into account, okay, well, what block am I on? What's the vibe of the bars and restaurants around me? The first place I worked in was like they wanted to be like pop punk New Year's with a retro vibe, but we were in the middle of like the black mecca of 14th and U Street in DC. So it's like there were nights where there was a longer line for our bathroom from people from the bar next door versus people in the actual bar because our vibe didn't fit. Oh, and so like, yes, be married to your vision, but also be willing to pivot. And pivoting isn't necessarily like pivoting and moving the goalposts are, I guess, two different things, but both are. Pivoting helps you become successful. And then once you achieve whatever your definition of success is, then you're moving the goalpost. Okay, so I made it to my first successful venue up and running. Okay, now we did a second one. Now we're franchising. So moving the goalpost is good. Just make sure it stays in line with like, what did you set out to achieve? If you started, doing wedding venues or whatever, and then you end up opening 10 boutique restaurants or whatever, they stay in line with the vision. So
like why did I even start this journey?
Yeah.
Make sure that you're still
Remember your why.
Remember your why.
Remember where you came from.
Yes.
From the streets.
Well, and really no.
Kate is not from the streets.
I am not, but I love people. I don't know. What do I say now, Rachel?
I thought she was going to say, I love the streets.
People are accepting an award and they're like, I remember where I came from, or I grew up, like, I'm Jenny from the block.
I'm not Kate from the block.
There's a video I love of J-Lo, and she's walking through the Bronx. And she walks up to, I don't know what she was, you know what I'm talking
This
about?
is just the worst example because literally nobody in the Bronx knows her, and she's completely full of shit.
It was so funny. It's her walking up to the house that she said she used to live in. I didn't fact check it. I'm sure she lived there. But she walks up and she's like standing outside and she's like got this look of nostalgia on her face. And this guy comes out, or he's at the window or he's at the door or something. And he's like, "Can I help you?" And she's like, "I used to live here." And he does not know who she is.
Yeah.
Which is an anomaly in today's world. Everyone knows who J-Lo is. But he didn't know who she was. And she was just like, "I used to live here. That was my room up there." And he's just like, "Please see yourself off of my property." Yes, not that. You remember where you came from, sure, but that thought came into my mind when I said Jenny from the block. And anyways, continue.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Okay. I mean, the whole reason I started the business was because I had kids and I wanted to be in charge of my schedule, and work from home wasn't a thing that existed. And it was just sort of my inner rebellion against a bad marriage and wanting more control over my life. So that's why I started it. So then if the whole point is to have more control over your life, and you get to a point where you don't have control over your life because you're so busy and you're so booked and you're not accounting for your energy in your equation of, is this profitable for me? Then you've kind of missed the mark. And that's kind of, it's not profitable. Even if on paper it looks good and it looks like it is, if you are not able to go to your kids' baseball games because of work, if you're not able to be there for your family in the way that you intended to be, then it's not a success. When you first start, it's like survival math, and then you're trying to reach the dream math equation. So survival math is like, I will take any booking I can get, whether or not it's good for my business's reputation. I will take any booking because I need to pay rent. I need to make payroll. I need just to, make ends meet. And the goal is to get to the point where you can do the dream math equation, which is you can say this, this client isn't the best for me. This, deal doesn't work for me, and walk away from it. I mean, I know, Rachel, you've seen, and I guess Gemma, now you've seen, like other businesses and people approach us and ask to work with us, collaborate with us, have us represent them in some way, or even have us operate their locations. And I did the math the other day, and I think it's happened 6 or 7 times. But we've like very recently been working on something, that looks hopeful because it's a deal that would benefit us and has synergy with sort of who we are and how we operate and our values and everything. But there have been really lucrative deals that have been presented to us, that I've had the privilege of walking away from because it doesn't sit right with sort of me, the brand, and I just didn't have the energy for it. So I think it's really important to be protective of your energy. And we're kind of at the dream math stage where we're not so much turning away clients because we welcome all, but we do have, rules in place that ensure, if we can hit all these rules, then you will have a quality event. Requirements, things like if you're booking last minute, you have to use a preferred caterer, things like that. But I'm really happy that we're sort of at the place where we can walk away from deals that, aren't exactly right for us, and, aren't going to pull focus away from our core mission, which is operating the venues that we already have. So when we're adding franchising, we're doing it responsibly. We're not opening 10 locations at once. We're doing like one every other year or something like that, just so it's sustainable. It's something we can actually support and grow responsibly. So I think true success really is about having the freedom to make choices and the luxury of making choices of where you're putting your energy, where you're putting your time. I could work more hours and do more things and make more money, but I want to be with the people I love.
But it's like achieving success without forgetting your bottom line. You want to have the independence to run your own business, have your own thing that ultimately provides for you, your family, your kids, helping people celebrate, making a welcoming, inclusive space that didn't exist or wasn't the standard when you first started, and continuing to grow while remembering that that's the mission.
Yeah.
I think for whatever business someone is trying to start, grow, sky's the limit, but don't forget like the why.
Like we've been working on this dang TV deal for years. And it was like last year when we were really close to getting it. And they said, well, if you can film in Georgia, because I guess there's all these credits and tax stuff. Like that's why everything's made in Georgia.
Everything is filmed in Georgia.
Made in Georgia with the little peach at the end. If you can film in Georgia like several months a year, cool. And I was just like, no. I didn't even think about it. It was just like, no. So like, yes, I could be doing that, but it wouldn't be the life that I want.
Mm-hmm.
The math of making it is all about knowing when the equation no longer balances, when you haven't really worked the energy factor into it. And the bravest thing sometimes is just scaling back and redefining what success is to you, because it's not going to look the same for everybody. And I think I'm in a place where I feel like I can say that I'm successful because I'm home every day, unless we're in the bunker filming a podcast or I'm doing tours every now and then. I'm home, with my kids, my husband, just hanging out. Formerly taking care of chickens. Now they're dead. I have dogs though, so that's
Didn't my
cool.
mom ask about your chickens the other day?
She did. And I was like, oh, honey, no, they gone. They've been gone for a long time. Yeah. So that is our segment that I will somehow turn into an episode magically.
Frederick McDonald's has plastic straws.
I know. Isn't it great? It's so good. Yes. I want to save the turtles, but I want a plastic straw so bad. Like, think it's so mushy. All right. And this could flop and we could absolutely hate this. So this is fine. But I just wanted to try something. We talk a lot about business and clients and venues and all that, but I really think our listeners want to know us. Don't be scared. It's okay. So I thought we'd maybe add a little confessional moment each episode.
Oh my God.
Okay. About what?
So nothing scary. Just
Bursting into tears wasn't enough.
Now, Gemma, let's unpack that.
So this is our chance to share something personal, real, or even funny so that people can see our relationships beyond the pod. Little follow shelter confessional.
All right, you go first. We'll base ours off yours.
So I will go first. This one's for Gemma.
Oh, wait, are you asking us questions that we have to
No,
answer?
I'm gonna confess something to Gemma.
Okay.
Okay. Am I gonna start crying again?
Oh, no, I hope not. Jesus, if you do, I'm just gonna leave. This is about Pilates. So I'm very scared.
Deep exhale.
You're not fired. Don't worry. Got fired on the
Okay.
podcast. No, it's like, so you invite me to Pilates and I'm like honored, right?
Also, she's mentioned this because I love Pilates. Les Mills Pilates, if you go to Merritt. I love all Les Mills classes. Shout out.
Sponsor me, hashtag.
Talk about goalposts. I'm going to be an instructor one day, even though I cannot modify the class.
Speak it. Speak
fine.
it.
Okay, keep going. What?
So like, I want to join you all the time, every time.
It was on Monday. She didn't come, and she didn't come last week.
I was on vacation last week.
That's valid.
Okay. And then this Monday I legitimately forgot. But so I want to come, but I also feel like I'm technically your boss and I feel really awkward and I don't want to invade on your personal time and your personal space because I know how important the gym is for you and like your sanity and like it's you time. But then like you invite me, so I feel like she must want me there. She wouldn't invite me if she didn't, but like I don't know how to act or what to do. So I'm just letting you know that I'm very self-conscious about whether or not I'm actually supposed to go to Pilates or not. But it's a great class, and I'm glad you introduced me to it. And that is my question.
Come whenever you want. I love it. I invite you to come to it because I love it, and so I want to share something that I love with people that like. Obviously, I didn't invite Rachel because she's not a Merit member.
Not a merit member.
Oh,
Also,
I thought you were going to say obviously didn't invite her because I don't, because I hate her so much.
I just
No.
Pilates is hard for me. I can't do it. I walk. I like to walk.
Okay, walk on the little treadmill.
Well, it's great. I love it. And so that's why I invited you to come to it, because
You should go.
Okay.
Go to Pilates and then do something different after, because I understand that like the gym that's your
Yeah. I don't want to invade on your like sanctity.
yeah, but I try to go there every day except for today.
I think there could be a fear of like next time you're like Kate goes to Pilates with you and just Kate's presence alone is making you think about like maybe an email you didn't respond to or something. And she doesn't want you to think about work a fraction of a percent while you're in your Pilates zone. But Kate, if she didn't want you there, she wouldn't invite.
That's true. I tell myself that, but I'm very self-conscious. So that is my
Yeah. If you're there, that's great. If you don't come, that's also, it's not offending me, but
I think you're very offended too if I don't go. I really do. I think you're
No.
like, oh, she hates.
Let me say that I'm really excited to hear about your shared Pilates experience. I don't know.
We
This
did- we
podcast.
did it once.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, how was it? What?
It was so cute. I didn't know anything.
It was at the beginning of the month. I asked her to come, but I actually talked to a girl from the class yesterday
Ooh.
at the gym, because I don't know if you remember her, but she's the one that was like wearing a skirt. She's like
To Pilates?
Like athletics.
an athletic skirt, had shorts underneath.
I don't remember. There were so many people in that room.
Yeah. So she comes to the classes all the time, and she's always wearing these cute little athletic skirts and sports bra. And so she was filling up her water, and I just walked down the stairs, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go up to her, and I'm going to tell her that I like her outfits.
Yes.
And so I went up to her, and I obviously scared her because she had her headphones in. But I was like, I just want to tell you, I really like your outfits. We take a couple classes together. It's super cute. And so she introduced herself to me and says that she only takes Pilates on Mondays with Stephanie because that's the only instructor she likes. But then also she said, during the class, I sometimes look to you to see what you're doing because you're always doing really well. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I'm always really like inspired by you. And like she's like, you're like still, into it and doing it. And I was like, oh,
Womanhood.
wow, that was really nice. So yeah, you should come, and then maybe she'll say that about you.
That's I live for it. I live for it. That's amazing. Does anybody else have anything to confess? I know that nobody had time to prepare anything at all.
I have extreme gas.
Thanks. We know.
I kind of I made a work related confession to you earlier about how like I'm at the venue and I'm not looking with like Gemma management eyes. I'm just like in for a walkthrough. Okay, walkthrough is done. I'm going to go get my kid or carry on with my day. So that's like my bad work related confession of something I need to work on. I don't think I have
I do that in every building that I go to. I found a leak in the library, and Merritt has 3 overhead lights out.
I do think that when I'm anywhere other than the venue, if I'm in an elevator, I always look for the inspection and I love to text it to you. Like Gemma would never let this fly. This elevator hasn't been inspected since 2016. When I die, look for me here.
I think when we bought the building, didn't the inspection certificate like expire 5 years ago?
Yeah, it was old.
Yeah, it was crazy. Okay. Well, that was our first confessional. Somebody prepare one for next episode. So that's a wrap on today's episode of The Venue Underground. We talked about the real math of making it and how success, it's not just revenue minus expenses, but revenue minus energy. And if you're not counting that, the whole equation just falls apart.
And honestly, I feel like this conversation just made me want to guard my energy way harder because, like T Swift said, it really is a luxury item.
We are not done stirring the pot. Next week, we're pulling back the curtain on the industry with a little episode that we're calling
What Vendors Don't Tell You, but Should. And trust me, you want to hear this one.
We're talking about how your vendors are actually getting their staff, why things cost what they cost, and the stuff you never see on Instagram.
And it is not vendor bashing, but it is vendor truth serum. So don't miss it. Make sure you're subscribed to The Venue Underground wherever you listen to podcasts. And hey, share this episode with a friend who's building something big because the math always matters.
See See you next time in the Fallout
See ya. Bye.